Kalshi is safer than Polymarket. Every time someone says that, it gives me flashbacks. Flashbacks to when I was trying to explain to my friends why I was turning my real hard-earned cash into some weird digital code, Bitcoin. I still remember their faces. Every single time it was the same story. But Cédric, banks are safer. Bitcoin is not even legal. At least banks are regulated. Oh yeah, safe. So safe that a platform like Kalshi here, I'm recording my screen for you. Wait a minute. Platforms like Kalshi here can follow every rule, every law, be totally compliant and still make you lose money legally, even when you clearly got it right. And then they usually just say, that's just the rules, Cédric. Look, today, forget the fancy graphs and jargon, we are talking straight. Talking safety. This safety Kalshi fans love to talk about. Who is it really protecting? And Polymarket, risky platform, yeah? Everyone warns you about it. Is it actually as dangerous as it sounds? If you want clear, straightforward breakdowns without the fluff, hit subscribe. Alright, so first, before we start, quick heads up, I'm not a Kalshi user. I'm just a decentralization advocate. I first heard about Kalshi when I was working on my Polymarket arbitrage strategy. I did a video about my strategy with Polymarket a few months ago. You can have a look at it if you want. Kalshi is just one of the sources I use for the arbitrage strategy. Then I saw them advertising at the Bitcoin 2025 conference in Las Vegas 2 months ago. Why? Because they now accept Bitcoin as a form of payment. Not because they are like Polymarket, decentralized and working on-chain. No, just because they accept payments in Bitcoin. And yeah, I saw them there and I've been following them since on Twitter. And I can see that they are growing bigger and bigger. That's why I felt I had to record this video. If you had a choice to make between the two, I wanted to help you do your research for which one is better for you. If you are someone like me, maybe it's not Kalshi. Anyway, let's start then by looking at the most, surface level definition of safety, or what people think is safe. I'm talking about size, credibility, regulation, stuff like that. So here you have Kalshi. Most people in the crypto sphere have probably never heard about it. They've heard about Polymarket a lot by now, but Kalshi still flies somewhat under the radar. But when you look at it, they look like the same thing. If you look at Kalshi here and Polymarket here, it looks like the same thing, but there are differences. Kalshi is currently the only US-based prediction market that holds a fully compliant license from the CFTC. They are officially leading in the US and plan to go global. That's why I wanted to do this video too, because French people, Chinese people all over the world, maybe they will be able to use Kalshi in the future. They've raised over 415 million, backed by serious Wall Street capital, by the way. And even crazier, on certain bets, their limit go up to 7 million. And regular retail traders can stake up to 25K. So yeah, it's big. If you look at the size, it's big. And their team too, they have an impressive lineup too. Even Donald Trump Jr. is on their advisory board. So yeah, when you hear people call Kalshi the regulated version of Polymarket, it makes sense, but Polymarket CEO Shane Copeland isn't that diplomatic. He straight up called them a copycat. So yeah, they're a Polymarket copycat. By the way, I think Kalshi is older than Polymarket. I think it was registered and created in 2018. It was founded in 2018. But what about Polymarket? How could they be a copycat if they were founded earlier? Maybe it's because what they are doing now, they look like a Polymarket copycats, of course, but maybe it's the other way around. I don't know. Tell me in the comments. I'm not sure about that. Anyway, some users say the difference is simple. Kalshi wants to feel like a Wall Street entity for prediction markets. It feels serious, but Polymarket, it feels more like the internet brain. It's decentralized, it's on-chain. Sometimes it's really brilliant, sometimes it's chaotic. And I was chatting with someone from my free Telegram group about this. The link is in the description if you are interested. And he said it perfectly. He said, Polymarket might be messier and maybe less safe on paper, but at least it's decentralized. You can bet on almost anything. Kalshi, on the other hand, is more regulated and feels stricter, more serious, more finance-focused, more political, and more politicized maybe. Maybe safer if you're betting big on stuff like elections. They made the headlines with elections. But then again, that's the image they want to project. And honestly, that nailed it. Here's the thing. Thanks to this shiny, legal and compliant badge, Kalshi has pulled in serious mainstream money. They've hit a 2 billion valuation, overtaking Polymarket 1 billion valuation. So yeah, size-wise, they are big. Regulatory, if you have a look at the regulation and this status, they are safe. They've leveraged Wall Street deep pockets and Washington political muscle to build one hell of a fortress around themselves. And it's not just talk, Kalshi's processed millions of trades and rumor has it they are growing faster than almost any financial exchange ever. But remember this. Rapid growth doesn't necessarily mean fairness. We saw that in the past. I'll come back to that later. But before that, let's talk Polymarket. The one we all know. The one that made the news because it got hunted down. They made the news because they were hunted down. Back in 2022, the CFTC dragged them to court, slapped them with a 1.4 million fine and booted them out of the US market. Yet, even now, a quarter of their users quietly access Polymarket via VPN from the US. The people are loving it. They choose to use VPN and to do that kind of maybe not so legal way to use this website instead of others. That tells you something. Then, while we are talking about hunting them down, came the 2024 election. Polymarket blew up again then. And guess who showed up? The DOJ and FBI. They raided the founder's home, confiscated his equipment, went full movie drama on them. Even his phone was taken, and it felt like it wasn't just about, financial violations anymore. No, suddenly the charges escalated into something way heavier, potentially influencing the election. I was talking about, Kalshi being politicized. It's all about politics. Here, it became even more clear. So you see, it's not about compliance anymore. It's about picking a side. It's political. It's choosing between the traditional finance world and the new world, decentralized world. So on one side, you have got the officially endorsed, government-approved golden child, Kalshi, but on the other, the hunted renegade fugitive. What we saw then, I think it's regulation by enforcement. Again, we saw too much of that in the crypto world those last few years. It feels unfair. It was unfair. They stopped that, and that's good. And what they did back in the time, maybe it slowed us down, but here is where things get interesting. Polymarket didn't suffer, is coming back. Polymarket just dropped over 100 million to buy a licensed exchange for the US. They are betting that eventually even the lawmakers will have to follow their own rules, So they will be back in the US soon. Some people are still thinking maybe it's not enough, but I think, yes, they will actually pull this off and make a comeback. Honestly, maybe it's too early to say, but I'm watching closely, and you can even bet on that on Polymarket if you want. I think they will go live again in 2025, as the majority of people here. Joke aside, that brings us back to the real question. For a platform like Kalshi, backed by powerful political connections, is their vision of safety genuinely about financial security? Is it for us, or is it just about playing nice politically? So let's stop talking about politics. Let's talk about something more personal now. Our money. On Kalshi, you can't even place a bet without first handing over your money, your identity, and your trust. You have to do the KYC thing. So if I want to create an account here, I have to be a US resident, so I cannot do that for you. But online you can find a lot of videos of people, because they have an affiliate program too, telling you how to proceed. And you can see, maybe I still have one opened here. Oh yes. You can see that if you want to register on Kalshi, you have to give your name, your first name, last name, address, social security number, do the full process, the full KYC, link your bank account, or docs your wallet's addresses. Honestly, I know this routine way too well. This is exactly why I dove headfirst into crypto years ago. I was just done with banks deciding whether or not I could use my own money. Because here, when you link your wallet, it's not linking your wallet after that. Maybe you can see it here. It will be all about sending money to your account on Kalshi. So the money will be safeguarded by them. If they have a problem, you are screwed. Not your keys, not your coins. Centralized. It's centralized, it's the problem. But Polymarket, it's a whole different game. No depositing, no begging for permission. You simply connect your wallet. Let's sign up, and you will see how easy it is. You just have to connect your wallet, and your assets will never leave your hands unless you personally authorize it. That's non-custodial. That's real freedom. let's connect. Confirm. All right. I've created a new account just by connecting my Web3 wallet. How easy was that? All right. Enable trading, approve tokens, and here we are. It's done. That's real freedom. I can start trading. I can just start depositing, USDCs on my Polygon address and then just start trading. It's fast. It's cheap. And here is what it boils down to. Kalshi model requires you to hand over your assets in exchange for this shiny badge, called compliance. Polymarket's approach, you never let go of your keys, ever. I lived through the carnage of 2022. Platforms like Celsius promising safe, high yields blew up overnight. Then FTX collapsed. It was growing fast too back in the time, right? I watched that whole nightmare unfold live. All those disasters taught me one simple truth, one simple thing. Not your keys, not your coins. It isn't some crypto cliche. It's a lesson we learned the hard way with real losses. And it's something we should never ever forget. But okay, let's say you trust the regulators. Let's say you're even comfortable giving up control over your assets. There is still one big question left. Are the rules themselves safe? When you are playing, when you are in the game, when you are okay to, KYC, dox your wallet and stuff, how is it when you use it actually? Well, let me show you what that actually looks like in practice. Here is a perfect example, the Oscars viewership bet. Before we even get into how that market ended, let me tell you what happened. I don't know if you missed the drama when it blew up, but earlier this year, Kalshi launches this market. How many people will watch the Oscars? Simple enough, right? You could bet whether 2025 would beat the viewership numbers from 2023 or 2024. And guess what? Final Nielsen data came in at 19.7 million. So yes, was the right call. Except, you can see it here, Kalshi didn't wait for the final numbers. They rushed it. They closed and settled the market based on early estimates. The kind of quick data that outlets like the New York Times, this kind of news websites post before the official update. That early number was like 18.1 million, way under. So they paid out no as the winner, even though just a few hours later, the real numbers came out. Variety, Nielsen, everyone confirmed it. The Oscars did beat both previous years. And when users pushed back, asked for a fix, Kalshi basically said, yes, we just followed the rules. The case is closed now, and you can't appeal it. We won't correct it. We will do nothing. And that's what brings us to the real issue here. Some people correctly predicted the outcome and still lost money. Others got it wrong and yet somehow won. How is that possible? Because Kalshi's centralized referee used outdated, incorrect data at the wrong time and made a by-the-book decision. The final correct number of viewers was 19.7 million, but Kalshi settled the bet based on an earlier incorrect figure. And the worst part, if they had, waited literally a few more hours, they would have had the right data. But they didn't. Kalshi, head of operations, I remember it was Noah here, responded publicly. I cannot find the tweet. If you have it, please send it in the comments. But it was like, yeah, we just followed the rules. That's all. We cannot do nothing about that. But come on, that's ridiculous. Imagine you are watching a horse race, full of finish, clear as day. Horse number 1 wins. But the rule book says you've got to go with the first code. Except that the judge had blurry vision and raised horse number 2 flag. You bring them the crystal clear photo as proof and they just shrug and say, sorry, that's the rules. The judge has the final say. And this is the platform bragging about its regulatory backing, high volumes and massive betting limits. When it counted most, the data was wrong and their decision was final. Now you tell me, is that fair? Is that safe? When you don't have a say, when they decide for you if you have to lose or win, how is the safety in that? That's exactly why Tomer here, this hardcore prediction market trader who has been calling out Kalshi's grading issues for months, He asked the question we are all thinking. Why defend a broken rule? Yes, they have rules. Yes, they have regulation and so. But if the rules are broken, why defend them? But Kalshi direct response didn't even mention fixing the problem. No discussions of fairness, just a robotic, defense of their decision. To be fair, Polymarket isn't perfect either. It's made mistakes and caused outrage too. But here is the critical difference. Polymarket was built with a feedback loop. It has decentralized arbitration built in, just like the UMA protocol they are using. So when disputes occur, even if it comes from a trusted oracle, the community can vote, can appeal, we can reevaluate. The results aren't frozen by a rule book or by a judge or by someone. They evolve based on real-world consensus. If that same Oscar's bet had happened on Polymarket and got settled incorrectly, we'd at least have the chance to appeal and correct it. There is a time frame after each bet, where you can appeal the decision. You are not just getting stonewalled with a cold rules response, like on Kalshi. So yeah, sometimes, even on Polymarket, things can get murky. Some users complain that unclear wording has led to messy resolutions. And let's be honest, veterans often have an edge when it comes to navigating disputes. We will not talk about the Zelensky suit case here either. But maybe we could, because it illustrates what I'm saying perfectly. People have the ability to appeal. There were discussions online. In my opinion, safety isn't blindly following rigid rules. It's about building a system that learns, adapts, and improves itself over time, like Polymarket. So let's circle back to our original question. Kalshi's version of safety might protect you on the paper. They might seem legit, like FTX back in the time, but it can't protect you from arbitrary decisions or broken rules. It's too centralized for that. They are not too big to fail. So yeah, my money is always going to be on Polymarket, at least for the moment. And the reason is pretty straightforward. If Polymarket can survive an FBI raid, government pressure, and still bounce back, spending over 100 million to buy a compliant exchange, then that resilience says it all. And they've got serious backers in the community too, like Peter Thiel. Do you know Peter Thiel? Like the co-founder of PayPal? That's someone here. They've got enough capital to keep the engine running even through a recession too. That makes a difference when you are fighting both markets and regulators. You have Kalshi, backed by billions of Wall Street dollars and CFTC stamps. And you have Polymarket, driven by code, community, and grit. This is decentralization at its core. They can suppress it. They can try to suppress it. They can try to regulate it. They can try to slow down adoption, but they can't kill it. Ever. That's what we are seeing here. It reminds me exactly why I bet on Bitcoin years ago. I wasn't betting on compliance. I was betting on decentralization, on our community. Everything Bitcoin has become today proves that instinct was right. And what they are trying to do with Bitcoin today proves that again. And yeah, my logic hasn't changed since there. I still believe Polymarket represents the future. A future built on user consensus, on the community consensus, just like Bitcoin. Feedback loops and adaptability. Bitcoin is still evolving today. Polymarket too, and I think it will continue this way. Not blind obedience to outdated rules. We don't have that here in the crypto world. Tell me what you think about all that. What do you think about Kalshi and Polymarket? What do you think about Predicted or Robinhood? What is the one you use? Will you use Kalshi once it becomes available all around the world? Tell me in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, click on the bell, leave a comment. I asked you for comments during this video. Did you leave one? And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Merci et au revoir.